Okay, so conscious of our time already, 2 minutes in. So apologies, Matt and Kim, but I want to introduce our first speakers of today, our wonderful sponsors Instructure. So Matt McShane from there. Thanks very much, Matt, for attending today, and obviously the wonderful Kim, which will be doing some presentation around some of the uses that they do with Canvas and Instructure as well. So over to you both. I shall stop sharing, and the floor is yours.
Thanks for that, Matt. I really appreciate everybody who's attended today, and yeah, really looking forward to Kim's presentation. Just quickly, I'm conscious of time, but I just want to touch on what Matt said about the plug-in with Instructure and the BLC. We now have 15 people working internally in the further education team at Instructure to get this plug-in built, and I've been assured that by the end of next month we'll have some tangible results to report back. So me personally and as a company, we understand the importance of this, and hopefully we'll have some really cool stuff to show you come the summer meeting. So yeah, without further ado, I'd love to pass on to Kim. She's going to show some really cool AI stuff that they've managed to accomplish in the Canvas virtual learning environment and how it's used. So Kim, you'll do a lot better job than I will of explaining it, so I'll pass it over.
Thank you, Matt, for the really lovely introduction, and to Matt Kersey and the BLC team for hosting the event. It's always a pleasure to see you. Sorry, seeing my email updates there. So just quickly, so rather than revisit everything that you've probably already seen before, Matt and I were having a conversation about why did Canvas the way that we did with our AI tools, and this is really to give you a little bit more about the context really of that. So I'll just whiz in. So today we're going to be looking at transforming learning through the AI integration into Canvas, look at the benefits of the tutors, the feedback assistant, the impact on the learners and the educators, a little bit about the safeguarding and ethics and why Canvas is really important for that, and then we'll take it forward. So just having a quick look, the role of AI in modern education, as we saw it, was about fostering engagement, personalization and efficiency. We really want to have a fully transparent learner journey at Activate Learning. So we only have a single delivery platform, which is Canvas. That gives us, we're sort of love playing with the system. It gives us high level of customization, and it works really well for us to be able to integrate our tools. So we've utilized, and we have for many years now, used Canvas as our student portal. So when the learners log in at Activate Learning, they are presented with Activate Learning Online, Canvas. They'll see a series of cards, course cards that are all about things like our online safety hub, our student safety portal, where they'll get information and guidance on a multiple different campaigns that we run. Mental Health Matters Here, Speak Up, Speak Out, and events and enrichments and those sorts of things. We use Canvas because it supports our face-to-face curriculum delivery with a single platform and provides that 24/7 access to learning resources and teacher instruction. We know that our learners don't just want to sit in learn 9 till 5. We have learners that learn beyond that time frame, and sometimes after shifts at 2 o'clock in the morning. We have integrated our AI tutors and the feedback assistant so that it's at the fingertips of the students as key tools to empower their independent success. And then utilising Canvas enables us to establish that that our AI tools have that availability, they're visible, and that we can pull through Canvas those key data insights, which are important to how we manage those forward. I'm just going to remind you of a couple of videos, if I may, just of what the tools look like. Here we go.
Learners submit an assignment as they usually do. This could include a Word document or even a photograph of handwritten work. ALO records the learner submission and securely stores it. Learners click the Activate AI Feedback button and instantly receive personalized, unbiased feedback on their submission.
And then just quickly the maths tutor.
Learners open their maths quizzes as normal, then click the AI icon in a quiz question they want help with. The AI tutor reads the question and offers them support. The AI tutor resists requests to give learners the answer directly, but rather offers learners support through encouragement, reminders of what they have learned, and metacognitive coaching, helping them break down a problem and think about each step. The AI tutor reads the answer directly from the quiz, so it can support confidently without risk of hallucination. As learners work through each step, the AI tutor encourages them to build on their successes and think about the next step, so the learner winds up solving the whole problem through their own successful effort.
Oops, we don't want to play that again. My apologies. So just thinking about the tutors there. So what that using the tutors within the grade book and the assignment and feedback area of Canvas enables us to make sure that we give real-time, non-judgmental feedback to the learner that puts them on their own treadmill, so that they're evolving their writing style through a coached process, or they're working through their maths problem in a step-by-step process. It's personalised support, so as I say, it's at the fingertips of the learner. It's when they get stuck, they get support, to the point where now these tutors are embedded in Canvas throughout all of our courses. So maths is a GCSE one, but the feedback tutor is on all of our courses where written assignments are expected to be submitted, and then the students use those tools effectively within class. And the tutors themselves, the teachers, are using these tools as almost a classroom assistant, so they get the students logged in, and if they can't help them with that maths problem at that time, then they're using the tutors to do that, and or developing the writing, that it improves the outcomes. So we know through our pilot study and with students that were doing the November math research, that if they used the maths tutor up to 10 times, it uplifted their potential grade in the exam by a third, and that was logarithmic. So it would increase over time. Critical thinking development. So putting the tutors into the course was a way of supporting that critical thinking development. We know that's an essential skill for our learners to have, but using the tools again within Canvas enabled us to really support that problem solving, questioning, the free writing development at point of need. And the beauty of this is it is really about the point of need for the learner. During daytime hours, they can ask the tutor when they're on site in college. But outside of that, who do they ask? So just quickly to give you an idea of the coaching model of the tutor. the learner, it reads the question. It then does a pre-build activity of using the reference material to build the expected solving steps. It reads the prompt, because we have a very strict in-house set of rules and guidelines, and then it will infer that thought process into the next steps, and then the AI responds with encouragement again and next steps, and the learner will engage with that, ask follow-up questions, and or close the tutor, because they might immediately get what they need. If we look at the feedback tutor, again, that's a multi-step process. So we look at, it will read the brief that the learner, so the tutor sets up the assignment. It will read the brief from the assignment and the content. The AI tool will do the cross-check with its knowledge of our specifications. And again, it will then start looking at the marking scheme and or rubric that's plugged into Canvas. It will then assess the submission, infer the learner's thought processes, and I'm reading I've missed out a space there. And then the AI uses its findings to write that metacognitive growth feedback. So really valuable. So Canvas is really, underpinning the delivery model of the tutor, because we've designed it around that. So for the feedback assistant, which is the staff version of our feedback tutor, so we go to an added level and we suggest grade. There's a streamlined feedback process again. The tutor's fully in control of the feedback that's being generated through AI, and can then post that back. But this tool is plugged into the speed grader. And so when the learner has done their submissions, the tutor can go into the speed grader, click the AI feedback assistant, and then that would, in the speed grader window, will generate feedback that the tutor can then tailor before they post it to the learner. So it's a very, very human-centric, tutor-controlled process. And again, because we have assignments that have our external tool integration with Turnitin, we have the feedback studio there too that can help infer the response that we are getting through the speed grader using our feedback assistant tool. So as I say, that really does drive the quality and consistency of our feedback and marking to our learners. So just looking at that positive impact that we have, we've got some stats there, and there's a quote from a learner. Academic growth is really important. AI is here to stay. We want to really engage with AI meaningfully with our learning management system and make sure that we are really looking at how we are supporting our learners. We evolve skills, so we don't replace skills. An analogy that I've used recently is that, because I can't text with two thumbs, is that we text and we type, and handwriting skills are starting to reduce. We see the quality of handwriting, slipping. And with AI, that way of writing for specific audiences, if AI does it for us, then we lose those skills over time because there's an over-reliance. So we want to make sure that through our learning philosophy and the way that we've curated our tools is that we evolve and don't replace. AI provides an emotional support system because it's available when the tutors are not around, and and that coaching approach is a very compassionate process. And again, we can make that available because we use Canvas as our underpinning platform. And we started from an accessibility viewpoint for our online learners, which has enabled us to push this out across our whole organisation. And for staff, well, making sure that we have a consistent approach with our Canvas platform, Activate Learning Online, enables us to have that transparency of quality feedback for our learners organisationally, but it wholeheartedly makes their job so much easier by using the tools available to them. We can't just provide an AI tool, without Canvas. We could, but it doesn't have that same impact and that same transparency of quality across the organisation. So when we talk about responsible AI use, we look at what does that mean really? Using a system means that we can have our services and our tools secured behind a shore wall. We have multi-factor authentication, single sign-on, so that gives us a path to authentication for our tools, and so we remain within a very secure space. We can write in and make sure that our prompts mitigate for bias. We focus on the process, so we stop talking about product. We talk about how we are processing with AI and making sure that we prevent malpractice. And again, really importantly, that the human is in control. That AI is part of the toolkits that we use with Activate Learning Online, our Canvas platform. Okay, what's the future? Well, our future is looking like a big roadmap at the moment. Lots of ideation and suggestions coming from within the organisation, the tutor support that we've been getting through our pilots. We are committed to integrate innovative tools, and having a platform that enables us to do that is hugely important. Many platforms don't have the level of customization, but just thinking about how we use our tools, we can push into Activate Learning Online into a specific course, into a specific location, assignments that have been generated through our organisational assistant, Alia. We are looking at how we can create skeletons of courses from schemes of learning, generating lesson outlines and quizzes, and making sure that we do the heavy lifting so that we can empower our tutors to spend better quality teaching time with the learners. And then we are looking to develop our student-facing AI assistant. So lots to look forward to there with that integration into Canvas. And I have to say, we had the pleasure of meeting with Zach Pendleton, the chief architect of Canvas, and Rachel Austin when Canvas had their European CanvasCon in Barcelona. We were very lucky to be able to go, and we are looking at developing an LTI so that we can share this across the Canvas community more meaningfully. So does anybody have any questions? I'm going to stop sharing so I can see you all.
Cam, I would just like to say that I've worked for Instructure for quite a while, and across definitely the further education sector, but education more widely in the United Kingdom, I haven't seen a more efficient and effective use of AI at this stage. I think that the way that you have it integrated into the speed grader and feedback tools, and then turn in on top of that is a really, really effective workflow. And I'm glad that the Canvas ecosystem allows you guys to do all of that stuff, right, and to hopefully offer it to the wider community. So really, really exciting, really good stuff, and excited to see what you guys come up with in the next kind of year or so.
Lovely, thank you.
Yeah, just from my perspective as well, I mean, congratulations, Kim, on the work that you and the team, and we work closely with you on other things, but yeah, just to see the amount of work that you've created there is around AI is fantastic. And congratulations on the fully deserved award that you all got, because it was very, very much deserved.
Thank you.
One question for me, I suppose, is that obviously a lot of us will sit in different roles within the college that we work in, or the organisation. To get that off the ground, what sort of time frame are you kind of looking at from an implementation kind of concepts perspective? How long has it taken you to sort of get to this point now, would you say, Kim?
We've been developing our tools to get to this point. It's been about 10 to 12 months.
Yeah.
In fairness, we started small with our tutors, because there was a specific need to support people that were learning online. That demographic of learner is who's learning remotely, are tapping into their learning on ALO at sort of after shifts 2 or 3 in the morning. They're juggling parents, childcare in the evenings, and all of those things. And it was really important to make sure that we leveled the support that the staff needed, that the students needed, but we didn't have the staff to deliver. So that was the ideation and the ideas around the AI assistance initially, but the impact quickly became quite noticeable, and the feedback was profound. So we looked at really developing that, and alongside that we started with Alia, our feedback assistant. And so yes, so 10 months has really been 10 to 12 months the time frame. A lot of that, I've got to say, is put into the governance though.
Yeah, of course.
Because Microsoft, as your foundry, will provide the tools that can help you build these things, but the governance, the making sure that you're putting in those safeguards, protecting student and staff data and organizational data is so important. So we spent a bit of time with our DPO, making sure that we were right, that our data was being stored in the appropriate places, and that movement of data was wholly secure.
Yeah, and of course that's going to be ever changing as well, isn't it? That sort of governance side of things. So yeah, it's very difficult to keep up with it and keep it as on point as possible, because, like as you say, it's so fast paced.
Yeah.
Would you say now that you've got it kind of across the whole organisation? Have you kind of, you said you started small, didn't you? And then does it sort of kind of word of mouth kind of grow? Is that how it kind of worked?
We did. Once we got that initial feedback from the tutors, after the first sort of three-month pilot, it was too soon to take feedback, but that pilot and impact happened quite quickly. That went out then to the rest of the online courses, and then we posed the question to the organisation and said, this can go out to everybody, so why don't we? And the benefits to everybody was just profound. And now working with the tutors, it's their right hand. It's there, and the feedback that we're getting now through the planning stage. Friday last week was a CPD day for the organisation, and all the faculty were going into planning for next year's curriculum, and the usage on our organisational assistant went through the roof, and we had to make sure that we had capacity to manage that really meaningfully, and and that's the beauty of having your own assistant. You can do that. You can scale up, you can scale down, you can make sure that we can plug in whatever training material the organisation needs. But that touch point with the learners, having that single transparent usage across the organisation through having Canvas is just phenomenal. It's brilliant.
Kim, could I just ask, with AI at the moment, there's a lot of different ideas about where it should be used in education, right? So what sections of education it should be used in, data, feedback, etc. How did you in the team at Activate decide where you were going to start, what areas you were going to start building these tools? Did you get feedback prior to building them, or what was the thought process?
The initial thought process for the tutors was really about that accessibility and support. For the organisation assistant was very much about where we can build some efficiencies, where we could start thinking about doing some of the heavy lifting around marking, planning, all of those things. We do use the team do use Alia for data analytics and those sorts of things. It's very much about how we can enhance the toolkit, the way, the efficiencies that can be generated. So initially, we sort of had to, entice the organisation really how we could use it, because the school of thought when AI first came out was it's all about plagiarism. It's all about, how to mitigate for that in education. But then you quickly realize there's so much more that we can do with this. There's so many more ways that we can use it as a business, as an education provider to support our staff and our students. We have a very firm stance, and Charmin's on the call, and I'm sure Charmin can attest. Our stance is really not about replacing people. We all work 150%. We all do way more. Staff are planning, marking, and doing everything, doing that type of support and preparation in the evenings. We wanted to redress the balance. We wanted to use the tools for efficiencies to be able to redress the balance at point of activity, not to use a tool, then copy and paste somewhere else. We want to make sure that there's a flow of information into the right systems for all the right reasons, and that's where you drive organizational efficiency. But you improve the quality of the pastoral care. We know that it's a bad word now, but post-COVID era, we still are facing the impact of that. We still have there's I can't even say the word, a deficit of social emotional skills. We had that leads to poorer behaviour in classes and things like that. There's a big impact that we're still facing in education, and to be able to support our staff, spend time to meaningfully empower and support our learners to manage self, to develop those life skills is really important.
Yeah, totally agree. Yeah, totally agree. Oh, that's been wonderful. Thank you very much, Kim, and obviously thank you, Matt, as well, for your support, and congratulations, as I said before, Kim, on all of the work that you've done, and the recognition that you deserve to get for that work. And it's exciting to see where you're going to take it next. I'm really, really happy to see where it's going to go, and I'm sure we'll give you the opportunity to showcase that as much as we can through our BLC meetings and conferences as well. So
that's fantastic. Thank you.
Yeah,
we look forward to the summer event.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Kim.
Thank you, Matt.
Thank you,
Matt.
Thanks so much
for having us. Thank you.
No problem. So yeah, if you've got any more questions for Kim or Matt, use the chat, please. Hopefully they'll both be here for the majority of the day, and if they have to drop off, we'll share any questions after the event as well. So